The secret origins of ancient Egypt. The history they never told you. Did you know that 1,000 years before Stonehenge was built, in the heart of the African desert, ancient astronomers were already observing the stars from a stone observatory? And that the first female pharaoh ruled Egypt because her children were too young, over 5,000 years ago? Forget everything you thought you knew about Egypt. Today we're going back 10,000 years in time to discover the true story of the birth of one of the planet's most mysterious civilizations. But first, if ancient history fascinates you, subscribe and hit the bell, because what you're about to discover doesn't appear in textbooks. The Forgotten Astronomers. Our story begins in a place you've probably never heard of, Nabta Playa, an inhospitable desert 800 kilometers south of Cairo. Imagine this: 10,000 years ago, when most of humanity still lived in caves, a group of people built something extraordinary. A circle of giant stones that measured with mathematical precision the movement of the stars in Orion's belt. Yes, you heard that right. An astronomical observatory 1,000 years older than Stonehenge. But here's the most chilling part. This circle followed a stellar cycle that repeats every 25,000 years. How did they know this? What lost knowledge did they possess? And there's more. In stone chambers with elaborate ceilings, they found carefully preserved remains of cattle. Archaeologists believe these could be the first signs of the cult of Hathor, the cow goddess that Egyptians would venerate thousands of years later. The Nabta Playa culture mysteriously disappeared around 5000 BC. But they left behind a seed that would change the world forever. The rise of the first kingdoms. Let's fast forward a few thousand years. By 4000 BC, the Nile is no longer just a river. It's the beating heart of multiple cultures competing for control. We have the Fayum, the first farmers who stored wheat and barley. The Merneith, who buried their dead in fetal position, as if preparing them to be reborn. And the Badarians, the first copper miners who created necropolises filled with jewelry and amulets. But the real revolution would come with the Nabta culture. This is where the story gets interesting. The Nabta culture was divided into 3 stages, and in each one, Egypt moved closer to becoming the empire we know. The first great cities emerged: Nubat, Hierakonpolis, Thinis. In Hierakonpolis, they created the first signs that would become hieroglyphics. They built the first Egyptian temple, and they developed the oldest Egyptian myths. But all of this was just a prelude. Because around 3100 BC, one man would change everything. The birth of the first pharaoh. His name was Narmer, and for centuries, historians believed he was just a myth. Until 1898, when an archaeologist named James Quibble found something incredible. Murals in Hierakonpolis showing a king unifying Upper and Lower Egypt. Then, in 1993, another inscription appeared. And in the 21st century, his name was discovered on a list of ancient pharaohs. Narmer wasn't a myth. He was real. And he had created Egypt. He ruled for 60 years and possibly founded Memphis, the city that would be the capital for centuries. But his greatest legacy was his son, Aha, also known as Merneith, secrets, betrayals, and a forgotten queen. This is where the story becomes Netflix series worthy. Pharaoh Jet died young and without heirs of age. The solution? His wife Merneith took the throne. Yes, the first female pharaoh of Egypt ruled over 5,000 years ago. For centuries, historians thought she was a man, until they found her tomb in Saqqara and discovered the truth. Merneith ruled while her children grew up, built monuments, and ensured the dynasty's continuity. But the peace wouldn't last. The cursed pharaohs. Pharaoh Adjib faced uprisings throughout Egypt. His eldest son, the crown prince, died under suspicious circumstances, possibly murdered. When Adjib died, his tomb at el-Qa'a was left empty. His body was never found. His son Semerkhet took the throne, but the priests declared him a usurper because his father hadn't officially named him before dying. Semerkhet's response: he erased his father's name from all monuments. It was the first time in history that a pharaoh tried to erase his predecessor's memory, but it wouldn't be the last. His own son, Qa'a, would do the same to him. When Qa'a died in 2828 BC, Egypt erupted in a civil war that would give birth to the Second Dynasty. But that is another story. What you've just witnessed are the true origins of Egypt. Not the pyramids, not the famous pharaohs like Tutankhamun or Cleopatra, but the forgotten pioneers who built stellar observatories, domesticated animals, created writing, studied anatomy, and established the foundations of a civilization that would last 3,000 years. And there are still hundreds of secrets buried beneath the sand, waiting to be discovered. Would you like us to explore the Second Dynasty and the civil wars that nearly destroyed Egypt? Let me know in the comments. And if this video blew your mind, give it a like and share it, because this is the history they should be teaching in schools. See you on the next journey to the past.